So, you're applying for cabin crew. Tell me something about yourself. Show me your best customer service attitude.
Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Machedo.
Okay, so now a little bit of UAE analysis. The past few days have been, without a doubt, the most disturbing events for UAE. The most disturbing, the most embarrassing. Until now, whenever people used to tell me, there are a lot of naysayers. There are a lot of guys who send me messages, Loy, UAE's finished. Loy, World War III. Loy, it's gloom and doom. I just laugh and brush it all off. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Just shut your pie hole. What World War III and what end of the world and what Middle East was. Just shut up. But never in my life, never, ever, ever have I seen news that is so disturbing. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's UAE's signing up with Israel for, saying, okay, we have made peace. Now, that wasn't bad enough, okay? That itself is really bad. That's number one. But now, it's causing a backlash like I never imagined. I knew there would be backlash, but I didn't think it would be to such an extent. And I'll explain why. See, for the Middle East, it's called Middle East. The Middle East is a collection of countries that are in the middle of East, like it's like a group of houses. So I want you to imagine like there are 20 houses in a community, 20 houses. And they are all staying together and they are all, united together. So the benefit of having a community kind of a house is, everyone. So for example, something like this, it's a community house. Okay, there are many houses over there and people live as a community. So now everyone, like the same like the Middle East, everyone's living in a community, everyone's interconnected, everyone can travel and meet each other and talk to each other. Now this was how the Middle East was, a community. Now people from outside try to come in, like, whomsoever, they try to come in, but the community held strong together. So just imagine someone tried to break into the house, or robber, or someone wanted to cause trouble, or let's say some other community gangs or something. This entire community would come together, all the people would come out and say, no, we stand united, don't come here. So there was strength in numbers. So nobody would attack. However, USA, being an outsider, it has this bad habit of wherever there's oil, they will, like a dog sniffing, they'll sniff, oh, oil, they'll come there. And they'll play the game of being the good guy, the knight in the shiny armor. We want peace, we want love, we want the development of your country. That's why we are coming. We are the most modern nation, we bring democracy, they bring all this bullshit. They come there. What they actually want is, they want your money, they want your oil. And the thing that makes United States kind of sick, they don't look at I win, you win. They look at I win, you lose. And the more you lose, the more I win. That's the kind of deal they look at. And they don't mind having a deal whereby it's not only you lose, but everyone else around the area loses. To the point where they'll make sure that they entirely destroy every house. Just like, remember the British colonial Raj. They try to conquer the world, divide and rule. Same thing US is doing today, divide and rule. It came into the Middle East, made friends with Saudi, even though it's totally opposed to the values of Saudi. Okay, made friends with them. Saudi, all Arabs riding on camels. They believed, oh, okay, maybe it's good. Okay, fine, made friends. Slowly they creeped up. Okay, they saw, oh, here Shia, Sunni, they are fighting. good, we'll take one side, we'll fight, make the other side fight. Why? Because we have weapons, we need revenue, we are just creating weapons, nobody is buying, nobody is fighting. Okay, you guys fight with each other, here, take the weapons. And they created issues and problems. They made Osama bin Laden, they made Saddam Hussein, they made Gaddafi. This is not me speaking from my ass, man. Just check history. They created Gaddafi, they created Saddam Hussein, they created Osama bin Laden, they created him. They gave him the training, they gave him the weapons, they gave him the technology. So after they made him powerful, then what they tend to do is, okay, you're my friend, go kill this guy, destroy this other place. After that other place is destroyed, then they say, look, this guy with weapons, he destroyed this place, he's evil, we need to kill him. They made Saddam Hussein, they made Gaddafi, they made Osama bin Laden, they made them destroy the others, and then they came on national television. This Saddam Hussein, this Gaddafi, this Osama bin Laden, they are evil. They're killing all these poor people. We need to destroy them. And so what they do is, they sell even more weapons. They get into a war. They destroy not only the other side, they destroy this guy also. They destroy everyone. And in the end, they say, now we will bring peace. Now we will bring democracy. And then they send all their troops there. They loot, they plunder, exactly what the British Raj did. They loot, they plunder, they take all the oil, they award all the contracts to their own companies, their own people. Everyone takes a cut of the pie and they destroy the country and they leave it. Whether it's Egypt, whether it is Iraq, whether it is, name it, whichever country they have put, where they have gone to, whichever country, they have destroyed it. Exactly like the British imperialists. So now, it was a peaceful community. Everyone was happy. US came in, made one friend, convinced him to fight against the other. Then made Iraq and Iran fight, destroyed Iraq. Then they made this problem in Lebanon. Then they made a problem in Syria. They have literally destroyed the Middle East. Literally. Then they set up a base in Qatar because it has the richest gas reserves. Okay. Now they did the unthinkable. Okay, the Israel-Palestinian conflict was going on and on and on. Now they did the unthinkable. They came to the country which was the business hub of the world. Which was, and why? Because before, the business hub of the world was UK, London. Then obviously Hong Kong, Singapore came. So Hong Kong became the business hub of the world. Now China has taken over Hong Kong and they don't want to see the benefit coming to China. So they don't want London, they don't want Hong Kong. So obviously by default Dubai will be the hub of the world, the middle hub. So they strategically they knew that. And because they made enough and more problems between Qatar with Al Jazeera, they jumped in. See the drama. One time they said Qatar is harboring terrorists. Then Qatar went and paid some money. And they said Qatar is our ally. And Iran is harboring terrorists. Then Saudi realized, oh, Qatar is getting close. Okay, I'll spend some money. Then they said, Saudi is my friend. Qatar saw, oh, he's spending some money. I'll also buy some weapons. Then they said, Qatar is my friend. Then Saudi realized, oh shit, I don't have that much money to spend. So UAE said, okay, we'll also spend some money. We'll buy weapons. So Saudi and UAE both increased their budgets. Qatar has enough and more money. Qatar also increased the budget. So US is happy in the end. I'm supplying weapons to Saudi. I'm supplying weapons to UAE. I'm supplying weapons to Qatar. I'm making shitloads of money. Okay. However, US appetite doesn't end there. Now they wanted more trouble, because the more trouble, more destabilization of peace. They want a war in the Middle East. They want a literal war where Iraq, Iran, Syria, UAE, Libya, Everyone fights with each other, and US will be the winner. They will send their troops, they will supply the weapons. Their country will be okay, but the Middle East will be destroyed. So now this is what their game plan is. Where once a community was all together, everyone was together and they would fight the outsiders. Now they made the community fight with each other. So now comes the part of UAE's relationship with Israel. I couldn't understand what is the fucking logic. That is where I always felt that UAE, the advisors, I don't know from which roadside, from where the fuck they get. The advisors, what? They bend over and look at the asshole and take out an advisor from there or what? You know, for example, Al Maktoum International Airport, 200 million passengers capacity. Who the fuck is coming there? Palm Island. Okay, World Islands, you dump sand in the water. Who the fuck is staying there? They get advisors who speak to them from their asshole, man. Oh, gold visa. Who the fuck is taking the gold visa? What the fuck is all this? And now the biggest one. Israel and Palestine, they are fighting. They have to make peace. It's like a husband and wife. Their marriage is pretty rocky. So instead of working to make the marriage happen between Israel and Palestine, it's a couple. Instead of trying to focus on making their relationship, UAE comes in and says, yes, we will make this husband and wife together by making peace with them. But Israel never made war with you. You were never involved in it. It's like me and my wife. We are fighting because our marriage is not working out. And one female comes from somewhere and says, I'll make their marriage work out, me and my wife, by making friends with Loy. That female makes friendship with me. How does that solve the problem? Palestinians never had a problem with UAE. They had a problem with Israel. Israel never had a problem with UAE. Israel had a problem with Palestine. So Israel and Palestine have to make peace. It's like I'm fighting with my wife. Instead of making peace with my wife, I'm making friends with Shirley. Who the fuck is Shirley? How the fuck does it help our relationship? Okay, now they made that. Now the problem is, it's like, again, going back to the community logic. It was a community, and now one person in the community has made friends with the enemy of the other camp. And now you're inviting the person, the enemy of the other camp, who has harmed the members of this community. You're bringing this person to your house and treating them and enjoying with them. You think the other community members are going to be happy? What the fuck? See, here you're not talking of anybody, you're talking of Muslims. Okay, and I'll tell you why. You're talking of Muslims, and that too you're talking of Arabs. What is the Muslim religion? The Muslim is a fighting religion. It's a religion, they say it's a religion of peace. No, it is a religion of conquest and conquering. That is how Islam spread. Prophet Muhammad was not a preacher. Prophet Muhammad was a conqueror, a fighter. Okay? They used to fight with lands and they used to literally conquer them. They had to fight. Arabs had to fight with each other. Islam was a religion that you got united because they were fighting with other people. That's why, Muslims are very hot-blooded. Yeah, yeah, they're always shouting. They're always, ah. It was never music and peace and incense and no. It's a religion of conquest. That is why all the Muslims are hot-blooded. That's why one man. Why do you think one man had 4 wives? Because the men would go and fight in wars. Men would die. So the men were less. So one man would make 4 women pregnant. So more children, like rabbits. So that's how the religion spreads. One guy marries 4 women and gets maximum number of children. Each woman gets 5 kids. 5 fours are 20. So now you have 20 kids. These 20 kids, they will multiply. Each one, say, will produce another 20 each. 400. So that's how it multiplies. So that's why it's the fastest growing religion. Not because, oh, it is so amazing, so peaceful that it's spreading. No. You multiply like rabbits. And then, number 1 is a religion of conquest. Number two is you multiply like rabbits. Number three is you're such an aggressive religion. Okay? Simple proof. You criticize the Quran. You burn the Bible, nobody gives a fuck. You insult the Bible, nobody cares a fuck. You draw a cartoon of Jesus, nobody gives a fuck. Try doing that with the Quran. Oh my goodness. Forget shouting and fighting. They will kill you. Why? Because that is how they're hot-blooded. It's a very hot-blooded this thing, you know. I'm not trying to brand all Muslims, but this is what it is. It's a hot-blooded religion. You know, for them they get very angry. Try. You don't have to take my word. Try insulting Jesus Christ. See how many Christians care. Try insulting the Prophet while being in a Muslim Arab land. See what happens. Try burning a Bible in the middle of the road in a Christian country. Try burning a Quran. Don't do that, please. Don't say that, oh, I'm inciting hate. I'm not saying burn it, but this is what it is. You can't. Why do you think that news, that Texas man who said in Texas, they said they'll have a Bible, a Quran cartoon or Quran burning competition. It became violent. Please don't do it, huh? Yeah. So the problem is it's violence, okay? Then on top of that, if all that was not enough, finally you have Palestine, which has suffered for years and years. Okay, now Israel will have its narrative. Palestinians will have their narrative. Israel will say Palestinians are evil. Palestinians will say Israel is evil. Israel will say we try to make peace. Palestinians will say we try to make peace. But the end result is millions have died. Millions. Okay? So many people have died. Fathers, mothers, children. People have suffered immensely. Okay? Now you expect by signing a dotted line, make peace, that they will forget all this? That they will say, oh, my brother, my father, my mother, my children, they died. Okay, I forgive. Man, for a religion that does not forget an insult, that can kill you for insulting their prophet or burning their Quran or even insulting, for such a small thing like a verbal insult or just a cartoon, they will kill you. You think killing their mother, father, brother, sister, children, they will forgive you? You are fucking kidding me. On top of that, now, on top of this, you have UAE, which is supposed to be united with Islam, united with its Arab brothers. It has betrayed them, betrayed Iran, it has betrayed Syria, it has betrayed Palestinians, it has betrayed Turkey, it has betrayed all of them because they were united. It has betrayed, you know, whomsoever has a Muslim faith, it has betrayed all of them. I'm not saying, see, this is not me saying it. You can ask any Arab Muslim. It has hurt them a lot. And now, they're not going to forget this. I'll tell you, now this is one mess. I'll tell you what the second mess is. Now, okay, UAE thought, okay, by making peace with Israel, they can buy the weapons, again, they can buy the jets and they can buy the fighters and whatever. Now, after telling the world Israel is my friend, Israel pulled a 180 and blocked UAE, you know, from getting those weapons, or protested against UAE getting the weapons, and UAE cancelled the meeting. Do you know what an insult, what an embarrassment it is for UAE now? It's so fucking insulting. It's like you insulted everyone in the community and said, fuck you, I'm going to call the enemy to my place. And now when you went to be treated like a guest in the enemy camp, he insulted you and said, no, you don't come. And that also publicly. Now UAE is so embarrassed. It's red-faced. And now on top of this, another problem has started to come up. Now Emiratis, I have, in my 40 years of being in UAE, I never ever saw anybody having the guts to protest against the UAE government. Anyone having the guts to criticize. Oh, fucking stupid. So, in all these years, I never saw or heard anyone having the guts to criticize the government, guts to criticize the monarchy. It was not heard of. And even if people did that, it was just one or two, handful. And that also people did it on the pretext of human rights or equality. And I'll tell you, whomsoever protested, they got into trouble. They were jailed for life. They were tortured. You just have to Google search Ahmad Mansouri, Emirati guy who asked for human rights. He's jailed. He criticized the government. Jailed for life. His life is destroyed. But now, ever since the Palestinian, this fiasco that UAE did, making peace with Israel, now Emiratis are just openly criticizing. Openly, they have come together. They've literally made a group together to criticize UAE. Openly. They are not afraid. They've stated who they are. High profile guys, high profile. And that also Emirati is based in the UK, Emirati is based in USA, Emirati is based abroad. Openly criticizing UAE, openly criticizing the government. This is very bad. This is very, very bad. UAE had one thing going for them, and that was security. UAE had security in the region. And for the first time in the history of UAE, now its own citizens are angry. This is not good, huh? I'll tell you this. It will destroy UAE. It will seriously destroy. A civil war might break out if they are not careful. A civil war, and if that happens, finished. See, Emiratis are used to a luxury, a life of luxury. UAE enjoyed, it was like Japan. It only focused on growth. It didn't focus on war. Now, all of a sudden, with this nonsense that ever since MBS has come, MBZ got so influenced, lack of unity between Dubai, the ego of the Dubai ruler and the Abu Dhabi ruler, where they were quiet and minding their own business, they are fucking up UAE. I'll tell you, a civil war will break out. And if they're not careful, their top guys will get assassinated. And this has already happened. Now UAE is fucking scared about its security. It's employing weapons. There are spies coming to spy on the country. There is threats for bombing. There is threats for terrorism. It's become a mess. Seriously, I've never seen all this. I've never, ever in my life seen all this. And if a civil war breaks out, UAE is finished. US will take over UAE and it'll never be the same. They will exploit UAE to the point they leave it to a desert. Everything that UAE, the rulers worked for all the years, the vision of Sheikh Zayed, the vision of Sheikh Rashid, they will destroy. It'll be destroyed. Now, what is the solution? I'll tell you the solution. If I was the advisor, I would say, number one, withdraw from the Israel relationship. Just withdraw. If you don't want to do it publicly, privately apologize to Turkey, to Saudi, to all the Palestinians. Publicly apologize, say sorry, bring peace. Speak to the UAE leaders. Talk to them together. Say, I apologize. We messed up. Let's unite together. Then after you get Turkey, you get Iran, you get all these people back on your side. Because UAE grew with the relationship of Iran, man. What the fuck? Bring all of them together. Okay, let US put the sanctions. Fuck them. They can't put the sanctions against the entire Middle East. And if they try, they will fail. They cannot. They will. US will seek the help of the European Union. But then the Middle East being together will be strong. Make peace with Qatar, man. Make peace with Qatar, Saudi, Bahrain, Oman, Iran, Iraq, Africa. Make peace. Just all you countries, continents, whatever, just fucking make peace. Stay as one unit. Whatever squabbles you have between yourselves, say this is an internal matter. We will handle it ourselves, like what Iraq is doing right now. Your problem with Iran, Shia Sunni, okay, it's an internal thing. You sort it out. Don't have US and Russia and all these external factors involved, because nobody gives a fuck about you guys, man. If the Arab world, yes, you'll always have indifference, but you focus on solving it within yourselves. Don't bring outsiders, don't bring outside weapons. You don't need all this shit. I would say UAE, just back off from Israel, apologize to Palestinians, whether privately, extend your hand of friendship to Iran, say sorry, let's make peace. Go to Turkey, say sorry, let's make peace. Oman, Saudi, Bahrain, Kuwait, unite all of them together. Let's say we need to be united together. Okay, then in UAE itself, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, Ajman, make peace. Al Quwain, Fujairah, make peace. Forget this Israel, forget the US. Say let's focus between ourselves. Shia Sunni, okay, we'll sort this problem within ourselves, without war, without bloodshed. We'll focus on building Islam, multiplying like rabbits, spreading the word of Allah. Okay, that's good enough. You don't need this bullshit, man. Because if you get into this bullshit, you guys will lose everything. And in the end, who will suffer? You guys. I'll tell you, there's no other solution. There's absolutely no other solution other than this. And the faster they realize, the better it is. Because if they don't, I'm telling you, like they destroyed Venezuela, they will destroy. Like they destroyed Iraq, they will destroy the UAE. And UAE will be a fraction of what it could have been. The vision of Sheikh Zayed, the vision of Sheikh Rashid, please don't destroy it. If Sheikh Mohammed, you're watching this, if Sheikh Zayed, you're watching this, please break off from Israel, break off from US. Focus on making peace. Just focus on economic development. Don't need all this bullshit, because in the end, US is a fucking sleaze bag, man. They will exploit you, they want your oil, they want your resources, and they'll fuck you over by selling you weapons. And that'll be the end of it. They benefit the most by World War III. They benefit the most. Nobody else. So I hope this is clear. You heard it first from me. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, you guys take care. Put your comments down below. This is me saying goodbye. Take care.
So, you're applying for cabin crew. Tell me something about yourself. Show me your best customer service attitude.
Stop getting the wrong advice. Ensure you get the right skills for the right job for jobs in the Middle East. Contact Loy Machedo.